Still talking about the 64th independence anniversary of Nigeria, State House correspondent Femi Akonde is having an exclusive interview with the leader of the Senate, Dokpeyemi Bamidele.
Dive into them before speedy implementation, as has always been the case.
Well, I believe it's a welcome bill. It's on its way to the National Assembly, I want to believe. There's a process of correspondence between the executive arm and the legislative arm, and I'm sure as soon as it gets to the National Assembly, it will be read to all of us as a correspondence from Mr. President. And it then will become my responsibility as the leader of the Senate to bring a bill, an executive bill in that regard, for further legislative action. But by and large, I believe that it's another bill, when passed to law, that will take us closer, to where we ought to be as a nation. All hands are on deck to just make sure that, we create a better living situation, a better state of the nation, where our people will have life more abundantly. There's no doubt in the fact that, like I said, it's a tough time, based on some of the mistakes of the past, some of the recklessness of the past. But today we have a government that is not pretending about the state of the nation and that is doing everything possible to ensure that we address these issues squarely.
Okay, Senate Leader, the President also talked about the constitution of a national confab, national youth confab, where youth now will come to the roundtable dialogue, bring up demands that directly affect them and their well-being. How significant and important is this? And do you think the youth are also ready to meet the government halfway?
Well, definitely the need for a youth confab at this point cannot be overemphasized. The youth, like the President also duly recognized, constitute over 60% of our population by demography. And I believe that the time to listen to the youth is not just when they are on the streets protesting. If we could hear them loud and clear when they are protesting, we should be able to even hear them louder when we are all seated, through a confab to discuss in a very articulate manner, in a very organized manner, in a way that their legitimate protests cannot be hijacked, by people who don't mean well for the country. So I believe that it will be a welcome development, and we all will look forward to that. And as elected representatives of the people, we also will ensure that we join in creating a conducive atmosphere and environment for the youth confab.
All right, thank you so much, Leader of the Senate, live from the presidential villa here. Well, there you have it, talking about takeaways from President Bola Tinubu's statewide broadcast earlier today. And what we just witnessed here, was the military parade in commemoration of Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. It's usually purely a military drill, a military tradition. We have seen a march past, we have seen the silent drill, the color party, all here on display to the pleasure of Mr. President, who also arrived, to first inspect the quarter guard before he came to take the national salute before the event started in earnest. And also here were the Vice President, the President of the Senate, the Speaker, members of President Bola Tinubu's cabinet, all here. It was not a day of speeches, well, just a purely military tradition or custom, I should say, where they come and do the march past and all other kind of military drill to entertain President Bola Tinubu, who is the special guest of honor at the commemoration of this year's 64th independence anniversary.
Indeed, Femi, a great day, low-key celebration, no doubt, but then making it remarkable, identifying, recognizing the fact that Nigeria has indeed come a long way, and talking about some of what the president, mentioned in that speech. Yes, the youth confab, the Senate leader has also spoken about that. Talk to us more about what other people who gathered at that event had to say about the prospect, for the country as we forge ahead.
Repeat that question. I didn't hear you.
Asking about what others who gathered for that parade had to say about the prospects for Nigeria and what their takeaways are from the president's broadcast early in the day.
president early in the day?
Well, the president has already pointed everyone in a direction to look, which is forward. He says he has understanding that the country has been through a very rough past, coming from independence, several years of military rule, and even the president assuming office on the 29th of May. He said it was at a critical juncture in Nigeria's history when the economy was also not at a very good place. He said he had just two decisions, which is, to reform and move forward, which would be for the benefit of all eventually, or to allow or maintain status quo, and eventually the economy will collapse. And his administration has decided to take that tough decision to make necessary economic reforms, which the president says is already yielding fruit and might take a bit of time, for it to trickle down, for the impact to be felt by the generality of Nigerians. But already figures we are getting from the National Bureau of Statistics and other government agencies and ministries and departments